Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com back with some Pittsburgh Steelers breakdown and analysis of their wild card loss to the Kansas City Chiefs 42-21. Of course, the Steelers season comes to an end. Ben Roethlisberger's career also comes to an end. Emotional night in KC. Let's talk about it. And I'm going to try to keep it even briefer than usual, which I know I say every single time, and then it becomes a 9-minute expose on a Gunners play or something like that. But very briefly here, because it is late and there is a lot to talk about that cannot be covered in just this video. The game plan for Pittsburgh in this one was to keep the score down, to win the turnover battle, to play good situational ball, especially red zone. They did part of that for the first 20 minutes, but it's a 60-minute game. It's so hard to keep Casey's offense under wraps for even just a half, much less an entire game, and ultimately just could not be done tonight with an offense that could not and would not, and just incapable of matching the explosive, potent Chiefs offense. So the first quarter went the way that you drew it up. 0-0. You're not doing cartwheels for it necessarily, but you're really happy with that because that is the game plan. Keep the score down, hold that Chiefs offense in check. You create turnovers, stealing possessions, taking away points from them. Those things were critical. You had the Watt tip, the Bush interception, and then you had the scoop and score touchdown yourself, which it felt like the only way this team was going to score was with defensive touchdowns, which is basically what happened while the game was at least competitive. And so that was the script, but the offense was never able to get it in gear, and then eventually the dam broke, and the Chiefs just rattled off 3 second quarter touchdowns, and you're just trying to hang on at that point. And when an offense is so just inefficient and lifeless, you're back out on the field. You're not able to match their touchdowns the way that KC did whenever the Steelers scored on the Watt scoop and score. They go out there, they march down 8 plays, they tie the game up, and they score five more touchdowns on their next five drives. And so they match it and exceed it. And that's what makes them great and so tough, and why Pittsburgh were the 12.5 point underdogs that they were in this game. And so offensively, you had some critical drops, miscommunications by receivers. Deontay Johnson regressed over the last 4 weeks of the season. You're in Arrowhead, so there's miscommunication in terms of making checks and audibles. Fryermuth missed one. Deontay missed one. Some lines that blew protections and stuff like that. And so those were all big issues for sure. And so the offense never got it in gear. And I mean, the only way to beat the Chiefs really is to match their big plays with big plays. That's how the Chiefs did it. They were ripping off huge gains with Chase and stuff like that. And Pittsburgh's offense just not built to do that. So even if the defense had been able to keep the score down for, the first half and three quarters, the odds of a victory, of course, were going to be really tough in this one. Either to play like the perfect game defensively and get more turnovers and more short fields and more scores and special team splash and things like that. Then of course in red zone play, which was kind of the two things for me that would tell you the story of this game was turnovers and red zone play. And Pittsburgh did win the turnover battle, but I think it was 2-1 instead of being 2-0. And KC was 4-4 in the red zone. And they're 4-4 in the red zone. I mean, it's hard to compete with that, and they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. They got underhanded shovel passes and touchdowns to their linemen, and Travis Kelce's throwing touchdowns. So, I mean, they are just in their bag at that point, and there's really no way to defend that, honestly. So, that's how the game ends up, and that's why KC's KC, and that's why they're the 2 seed, but really the favorites in the AFC. But them and Buffalo, going to have some good matchups. I would imagine in the playoffs. Odds and ends here. Special teams not great overall. Harvin punted well. Give him a lot of credit. I thought Harvin had a strong game, but the coverage units were poor, allowing a 48-yard return, 21-yard return. Not getting any splash on their side of things for Pittsburgh's special teams unit. So yeah, that was an emphasis that Mike Tomlin had coming into the week, and Pittsburgh did not succeed there. And then offensively again, I mean, they had two first downs, I think, at halftime. The Chiefs had run more plays, and Pittsburgh had yards at the break. And I mean, just some obvious numbers that tell you got really no chance to stay in that game. You can hang around early, which Pittsburgh did, thanks to the defense. And it is hard to blame the defense too much in this game, but the recurring theme here of these playoff games in the last four have been allowing 35 plus points, which is an NFL playoff record. No team has allowed 35 plus points in four straight playoff games until Pittsburgh tonight. No team has allowed 42 plus playoff points until Pittsburgh tonight. In three straight games, I think is the stat I'm trying to say there. So again, is that really all in the defense tonight? Especially didn't feel like it because your offense, if KC had scored 21 points. It felt like it was not going to be enough. Pittsburgh had 21, but it was garbage touchdowns late and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where what it comes down to. Just KC too good. Their offense too explosive. Pittsburgh cannot match that, and unless you can match it as a team, you're not going to win. So Ben's last game, I want to talk about that more in depth, probably in a separate video. Not, I wouldn't be able to do it justice trying to fit it into a 30-second soundbite right now. I'm trying to collect all my thoughts on this game, but I gotta stop saying "but." Yeah, by the way, that's my tick. Um, yeah, that's the end of his career. It sucks, but I'm happy to get to this point. Happy to see him one last time, and I don't know. You just try to enjoy that part of it, enjoy the career, I guess, of Ben. So we'll talk about that though a lot more in the coming days. So a lot to cover in this one. I didn't capture it all. I didn't intend to in this video. Just wanted to get something out quickly to you guys here before everyone goes to bed on the loss and the end of the Steelers season. Big offseason coming. A lot of change for sure. Quarterback, GM likely. A lot of moving pieces to come up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this offseason will be as critical and as kind of future shaping and shifting as there has been since maybe 2007, 2004, when Tomlin came in, when Ben came in. There might not be a more important offseason than this one in terms of what the future, the next 5 years plus of this franchise will look like. So very interesting times ahead. We'll recap it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and we'll talk to you soon.